The secret isn't about buying the most expensive vehicle on the market, but about knowing how to buy one that could last you much longer without spending so much on repairs. Basically, just oil changes, ladies and gentlemen. Well, today, I'm going to show you the most recent and updated list of the 5 vehicles most likely to last hundreds of thousands of kilometers, much more than many of the models people buy nowadays and then end up regretting. This list is based on real cases, documented by respected sources, as well as their reputation among mechanics, and most importantly, the proven durability of their engines and transmissions. And one of them was so impressive that the manufacturer itself took it apart to find out how it was possible that it was still running after 1,000,000 miles. One of these vehicles is from an American manufacturer. Yes, from the United States. The rest, well, you'll soon find out what those amazing brands are that can last practically a lifetime. Welcome, goodbye. Let's start with the list. With the ranking, let's go from 5 to number 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 5, the Chevrolet Suburban. Between the years 2000 and 2014, the Suburban has been used for decades by families, businesses, law enforcement, and public services. They often feature it in movies, especially involving presidents. There's always a Suburban. These vehicles keep running even after hundreds of thousands of miles. The most recommended generations, pay attention to this, are those manufactured between the year 2000 and 2014, especially the GMT 800 and GMT 900 platforms. The most sought-after engines are the 5.3-liter V8, the Vortec, and the 6.0-liter V8, both belonging to the legendary small block family, Chevrolet's small block. Those engines are known for having a simple construction. Spare parts are widely available and maintenance is relatively affordable. The automatic transmissions of these vehicles also have an excellent reputation when they receive regular oil changes and are not subjected to constant abuse. Many mechanics consider these engines to be practically indestructible, and if they receive proper maintenance, you'll be happy with them for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. There are numerous documented cases of the Suburban that have surpassed 500,000 and 700,000 miles.
700,000 millas.
Some have even reached over 1,000,000 miles, especially in commercial fleets and transport vehicles. And yes, I'm talking about miles because that's the unit used here in the United States, but you can convert it to kilometers. 1,000,000 miles is about 1,600,000 kilometers. Something like that. It's no coincidence that it's one of the full-size SUVs with the best reputation in the entire industry. So, we're moving on to 4.0 engines. In this 4th place, we're going to find a model that's basically a Toyota Land Cruiser, but dressed up as a luxury model. Yes, in a tuxedo, all fancy. Underneath all that comfort, we're going to find one of the most reliable engines that Toyota has ever made. Which vehicle am I talking about? Well, let me tell you. None other than the Lexus. The V8 4.0. The naturally aspirated 4.0-liter V8. An engine famous for the V8.6. The V8 liters. Which years are we talking about for this model? Well, we're talking about the years between 2008 and 2021, which are the years when this model has been most successful. In terms of reporting fewer repair expenses, greater satisfaction among its buyers. That Lexus, for example, isn't turbocharged. It works with little effort. And precisely that simplicity is one of the keys to its durability and reliability. Its 8-speed automatic transmission is also widely recognized for its reliability. Among mechanics specialized in Toyota and Lexus, there is practically a consensus. With preventive maintenance, this powertrain can last you hundreds of thousands of miles without the need for major repairs. Many of the owners have already far surpassed 500,000 miles. And although there are still few public cases of 1,000,000 miles, because this model is relatively new, it shares almost all of its mechanical components with another vehicle that appears later in this ranking. And I'll tell you about it, obviously. And here comes the interesting part. Later on in this list, a vehicle will appear that many consider to be one of the best V8s ever made by whom? By a Japanese brand. It's such a reliable model that even today, more than 30 years after leaving the factory, it continues to rack up hundreds of thousands of miles in the hands of its owners. But before that, let's go with this one, number 3, That number 3 spot goes to the Toyota Land Cruiser from the years 2008 to 2021. If there's a vehicle designed to survive practically any condition on the planet, it's probably that Land Cruiser. It has been used for decades by humanitarian organizations, governments, expeditions, and military forces in some of the most extreme places in the world. The 200 series features exactly the same 5.7-liter V8 from the Lexus LX 570, also uses a robust 8-speed automatic transmission. Mechanics often describe this mechanical setup as one of the most durable ever made by Toyota. That's saying a lot. And it's not uncommon to find a Land Cruiser with 400,000, 500,000, or even more than 700,000 miles still running on the road, still working. Very often, I'm driving down the street and I see them. And honestly, if you take good care of that Toyota Land Cruiser, it'll last you a really long time. You've probably already noticed something, and that's that they have something in common. All the ones we've seen so far have what kind of engine? Naturally aspirated V8 engines. Yes, and that doesn't seem to be a coincidence. Naturally aspirated engines, or as they're called here, large displacement naturally aspirated engines. These usually work with less effort than a small engine with a turbo to move heavy vehicles. And a lot of people know this, and many buyers who understand how things work tend to prefer this type of engine. By generating less mechanical stress and less heat, if well maintained, they can offer you an extraordinary and very long lifespan. That doesn't mean that any V8 will reach 1,000,000 miles. No, of course not. But it does help explain why several of the longest-lasting vehicles in history, they share that same mechanical recipe. I liked that. That same mechanical recipe, the V8 setup. And the most interesting thing is that the top 2 spots on this list also follow that same philosophy. Let's see which ones they are, but first, if you're enjoying the video, this is important. Look, because the way this information is distributed, the way this YouTube platform distributes it, is that the more engagement you generate, the more likes you get, and the more people subscribe through the video. It understands that it can recommend it much more. I sincerely appreciate it if you can give it a like. It doesn't cost you anything. And that way, we help many people who are in the market to buy a very durable vehicle that gives them confidence. We help each other. We help the community in this beautiful industry called the automotive world. So I sincerely thank you if you give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I invite you to subscribe. And now let's go to number 2, it's another Lexus. Wow, these Lexus are dominating. The Lexus 400, from the years 1995 to 2000. And now I want to make a clarification. I'm showing you images of the vehicles, let's say, from this top 5 list. In some cases, I couldn't, for example, for this Lexus LS 400, I couldn't find the specific model from 1995 to 2000. So I'm showing you one that's pretty close. And I'm not just talking about this Lexus, but about the list in general. Some of them might be for illustrative purposes, but they're basically the same model. Maybe from the following year or the year after, but that's basically what I wanted to tell you. Some of them, because if you identify it, you might say, no, but that's not from 95 or 2000 or 97. No. Well, but they're images for illustrative purposes. What you need to keep in mind is the value of the information I'm giving you so you can write it down. There it is. And in a banner in this video, the exact name, model, and years of each vehicle with that potential for durability are shown. Practically for a lifetime. Very well. That number 2 spot, as I told you, is the Lexus LS 400 from 1995 to 2000. Many engineers consider this to be one of the best cars ever built. A big part of that reputation is due to its legendary engine, because under the hood, we find the famous 4.0-liter V8. Again, the V8S, as I told you, naturally aspirated. That engine was developed during the 80s with extremely high engineering standards. Toyota invested enormous resources to create a sedan capable of competing against the big-name Europeans, like Mercedes-Benz and BMW, but with reliability even greater than that of Mercedes and BMW. The result was an engine built with top-quality materials, very precise tolerances, and extraordinary durability. Its automatic transmission is also widely recognized for its durability. A lot of mechanics consider that engine one of the best naturally aspirated V8 engines in history. Friends, that's saying a lot. There are numerous documented cases of owners who have surpassed 700,000, 800,000, and even over 1 million miles with the original engine or with minimal repairs. Even today, more than 30 years after its launch, many LS400s are still running and operating flawlessly. And now, yes, the time has come for number one. The number one spot goes to a pickup truck. There had to be a pickup truck. Which brand is it? Well, a Japanese brand that I think you've already guessed. Yes, Toyota Tundra. Toyota Tundra, as they call it here. Which years? Between 2007 and 2021. If we're talking exclusively about reaching 1 million miles, there probably isn't another vehicle with such an impressive track record. The star here is the generation equipped with the 5.7-liter I-Force V8. This is a naturally aspirated engine designed to withstand heavy-duty use for years. And I want to say something here, a little side note. Well, it has to do with the Toyota Tundra, but this in itself is a real slap in the face. Because when we talk about a pickup that's not part of that trio, that American trio of Ford, Chevrolet, and Ram, which are the ones with the long-standing history and reputation. And Ford, for example, sells almost 1 million units per year. Well, it's a vehicle that doesn't sell as much as these, like the ones from Chevrolet or Ford, but it has that reputation for lasting such a long time. Well, I think it's a shake-up for these American brands, but anyway, I'll keep talking about the Tundra. The Tundra's transmission is a 6-speed automatic and is also considered one of the most durable on the market. But what's truly impressive are the facts, the real-life cases. The most famous one belongs to a man known as Victor Shepard, a driver who used his Tundra to travel huge distances for work. When it reached the milestone of 1 million miles, Toyota bought the truck to completely disassemble it and study its condition. The engineers discovered that the engine's internal wear was surprisingly low. Yes, the cylinder walls, the crankshaft, and many other internal components were still within normal specifications for a vehicle with such mileage. Years later, a second Tundra appeared that also surpassed 1 million miles, and subsequently, more cases of trucks approaching that figure were documented. Very few manufacturers can boast of something similar. Like I said, Ford, Chevrolet, Ram, take note. That made the Tundra a global benchmark when it comes to durability and reliability. In conclusion, reaching 1 million miles doesn't depend solely on the vehicle. It also depends on regular maintenance, timely oil changes, and responsible driving. You have to treat it well. You have to show these vehicles some love. But if there's a group of vehicles with a higher chance of achieving it, without a doubt, it's these 5 on this list. Now, they're not the only ones, not necessarily the best either. There are many other vehicles from other brands and other models that, honestly, are good vehicles. But these 5 stand out because they are documented to have the highest mileage, meaning real cases, verified and updated cases of having that mileage. All of them have extremely robust engines, very reliable transmissions, and an extraordinary reputation among their owners and mechanics. Before finishing, I want to tell you where this ranking comes from. Well, it's not based on personal opinions. It was created by combining the most recent study from IIC Cars, which is a US company specialized in automotive market analysis, that examined nearly 400 million vehicles to identify which ones are most likely to reach high mileage, along with real cases documented by manufacturers and specialized automotive media that have already surpassed 1 million miles. Now, I want to know your opinion. What vehicle do you have now, and which do you think will last you years? Also, what do you think of this list? Do you own any vehicles on it? Also share your experience in the comments. Say, I have a Tundra, I have a Lexus LX. Well, let me know in the comments if you have any from this list and how your experience has been. I'm really interested to know how it's gone for you. Do you think any model should be added to this list? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to read your experiences and maybe hear about yours too. You have a Nissan, you have a Ford, you have a Ram, a Dodge that has lasted you, I don't know, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 miles or kilometers if you want to tell me. Well, let me know in the comments how it's been for you and how much you've spent on repairs. I'm not asking you for specific numbers, of course not, but let me know if it's been good for you in terms of repair costs and how your vehicle has performed. Well, if you liked this video, give me a thumbs up, like I said, a like. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell so you don't miss more content about engine reliability and vehicles that are really made to last. I'll see you in the next video. I'll be waiting for you there. Sending you a big hug.